smiles sweetly. Yes, we're withdrawing Bobby from school for the rest of this semester. He just missed his midterm exams, and we don't want him to feel burdened with all that makeup work. It's just too much right now, and his health has to come first. Scribbling on the yellow pad, the woman nods. Yes, of course. And where in Florida will he be? Mom says, down in the southern part where it's nice and warm. The woman frowns slightly but keeps writing, and without looking up, she says, and when do you expect Bobby to come home? With a shrug and a smile, Mom says, hard to say. Certainly not until he's feeling like his old self again. Now, Mrs. Paget, is there anything else I can help you with this morning? The lady looks up into Mom's face, her eyes slightly narrowed, her lips pressed together. There's a pause, and the silence is filled with questions. Questions like, where is he really? And do you know how fast I could have a search warrant? And you know this isn't over, don't you? Then she bends down to put her pad and pen back into the briefcase. The latches click. She straightens up, looks Mom in the face, and says, I think that's all the help I need today, Mrs. Phillips. Thanks so much for your time. Mom meets the lady's eyes and smiles. They both know that round one is over. Mom won. You're quite welcome. Bye now. When the lady's heels have tapped across the wooden porch and down the steps, Mom turns around and calls softly, Bobby? I open one of the French doors. In here, Mom. So now I'm in Florida. Huh. Cool. I can hear you smiling, Bobby, and you shouldn't be. This isn't funny. Mom moves quickly to the lace curtains on the front bay window and peeks out. These people are like pit bulls. See that? I look over her shoulder, and the social worker is standing on the porch next door talking with Mrs. Trent, taking notes. That lady is on a case. You are the case, Bobby, and your father and I. The school nurse and the Board of Health and the Department of Children and Family Services have got their little collective brain into a tizzy about one missing boy, and they're going to push until they get answers. This isn't funny. But I think it is. Right. So what do you think? So what do they think? Do they think you murdered me and put me down the garbage disposer or something? Or maybe I'm locked in a closet? Come on, Mom, get real. Mom isn't smiling. Her face is so pale that the bruises under her eyes look bright as gold finches. Her lips are tight, her words clipped. No, Robert, you get real. You do not understand the situation. This is not a joke. This is the state. These people have real power, and they are not afraid to use it. Kids do get hurt by their parents and others, and someone's got to be allowed to look around if things are suspicious. And right now, our situation looks very suspicious. It's not going to surprise me one bit if that woman and 6 of Chicago's finest come back here in 1 hour with a search warrant and complete authority to tear this house apart looking for one Bobby Phillips, male, Caucasian, age 15 years, last seen by Mrs. Trent getting out of a cab on the evening his parents were involved in a car crash, when he was already supposedly home from school with a severe case of the flu. So don't laugh about this. This is a real mess, and it's dangerous for you. I don't want these people taking you away from me, and now I've got to call Aunt Ethel. Mom runs to the den and calls her aunt and tells her that if she gets a contact from anyone asking about me, she's to say that I've been there since March 13th and that I arrived by train, or maybe it would be a good idea to let her answering machine screen the calls for the next week or so. Because if you don't talk to anyone, you can't very well be charged with perjury. And really, maybe the best idea is to go check into a nice hotel under her maiden name for a week or so, at our expense, of course, would she mind terribly, and if you want to talk, please call her cell phone number. And when Aunt Ethel asks for details, Mom feels like she has to give them to her, so she takes about 3 minutes and tells the condensed version of how Bobby became a fugitive from the law. And Aunt Ethel is the only one so far who isn't fazed by the idea of an invisible teenager. She says something like, well, isn't that curious? He must fly down here at once so he can be my bridge partner. So now Great Aunt Ethel is in on the secret. Mom's wrong about one thing, though. It's when she says that the social worker could be back in an hour with a search warrant to tear the house apart. Actually, it only takes Mrs. Paget 45 minutes.